All right, guys. I'm gonna just switch screens here for a second because I need to just go over a couple things with you guys. So 1 second, and we're gonna remove that, and we're gonna get this guy back up. All right, guys. So this is gonna be a manage your expectations type of update here from me. So the team isn't with me for this one. We realized that if we're gonna go over every single one of these topics in full detail, it's probably gonna be like a 4+ hour video. No one in their fucking right mind is gonna watch that. Sorry for the curse words, but no one in their right mind is gonna watch that. So we want to make this easily digestible. Also, I have the team doing a bit of work behind the scenes at the moment, so I just chose to step up, not cause a delay. And also, I think it's very important that we go over what it was we originally promised you guys, because it seems to have gotten a little exaggerated outside of our hands, not by our own words. But I've noticed that certain individuals at a certain point were pumping things up a little too quickly for their own good, and it became a situation where there was way too many cooks in the kitchen. There was a lot of shortcomings on the team ourselves with not being able to synergize always and get the timing correctly, because we were trying to do a little too many things at one time. So I just want to quickly go over an overview, right? But then go back in time real quick and let's go over our roadmap, because I've heard some FUD at the time that was saying things around the nature of we're over promising and under delivering. But I think it's very different when you look at the roadmap, where we really were trying to under promise and over deliver, and our manifesto was a essential how can I put this, like a direction that we wanted to take our brand, that we wanted to in the direction that we're going to cultivate a culture in this ecosystem here, and bring it back into the Web 2 world. The whole point of this project has always been to build a community that was extremely strong. If you guys remember, during the first 7 months, if Nemesis was here, there's going to be a lot more transitional overlay changes and whatnot on our next episode. Now, I want to go over this quickly, since we've had around like 3 delays now on getting this update out, because if we can't put updates in the singular announcement channel, people claim that the team has been missing in action. But I'd like to remind you guys, we just did a show in February with Clay Nation. We did another show with a wider audience. And this time around, we collaborated with numerous projects from this ecosystem. Pardon the noises in the background. But with numerous projects in the ecosystem. And that just happened, guess what? In April, which was last month. Not only that, last year we were doing a 3-day gallery event. We did Road to NFTLV in Cali, in Las Vegas, and we then did NFTLV itself. So we've been around, especially in the last couple of months. At the beginning of the year, we were really focusing on Raiders Guild a lot more. In the way of promo, right? And I'll explain why we had to take a couple of steps back. But I'd like to remind you guys, we haven't gone anywhere. The overhead on things are still being paid for by not a magical force. So I hate when I see messages like, oh, you're a rugger and a slower. I'm just like, bro, we charged for ducks one time and pretty much try to provide value for every single thing else without asking for much more in return. Our invitation letters, there's 500 of those things. We never sold a single one. We gave them away to you guys, all airdropped, all won through engagement or giveaways or raffles. And that's basically how you guys got those letters. Those letters were always supposed to be in our ecosystem, and they still are. And I'll go over how they have been and what value they've brought and what value we originally even promised with them. Um, so before I get ahead of myself, because I'll go on rants for days, especially with the when we're getting fudded to death. And I'm being told I've been missing in action for 6 months. I'm like, wait, what? How is that possible? We were just even posting announcements in the Raiders Guild development channels in real time, and answering tickets and giving over the counter 0% fee loans to our holders this whole time. So how could it be that I've been actually gone for so long? Albeit I did back away from Twitter Spaces, from constantly being on there, because at a certain point I was doing them a little too much, and then things started becoming very a little negative in sentiment on the overall ecosystem towards NFT projects. Now, I'm not one to really sit around and not have productive conversations. If our conversations consist of putting down everyone else, and every single time we get on the microphone together, we're trashing on someone or arguing about something speculative, like there's no point in me really partaking in that when I could really just put my time and energy into my community or my team. Now, the one thing that needed the most attention in the last couple of months has been my team, especially the artists. Yeah, they have a lot of passion in their heart, and you need to have a lot of love and care and patience. Not to make anyone's feelings get hurt when dealing with critiques and dealing with their timing and deliverables, etc. Now, Nemesis and Box Lord are some of the most talented individuals that I've ever encountered. So I've been giving my time to them a lot more, especially as we're wrapping up and getting closer to finally dropping Ascension, which I'll go over as well. So we got that out the way. Just wanted to give a little preface on those. A little overview on those little tidbits. All right, guys. So what could be expected from, almost before I forget. So since we've had delays for the last recent couple of episodes, for this episode, we've had a couple of recent delays, I should say. I take full accountability for that. You might have seen me on the timeline kind of losing it there. Some will say I was going crazy. I see it more so as passion. You see, to me, this isn't just like a little hobby of mine or something I'm gambling on or just messing around just to troll and then spend most of my time talking about tinfoil hat theories on Twitter Spaces late night that aren't recorded. This is more so, I love you guys. But this is more so a literal job to me. So when I hear people kind of, discredit certain aspects of it where I've sacrificed a lot of my time, it kind of like does get to me. Now, is it the most professional way to handle it? Showcasing so much emotion and rage at times? No, it definitely isn't. And I'm ashamed of myself for even letting people get to me enough where I'll actually, lash back at them on the timeline. What a despicable, pathetic moment. If Mackenzie and Sid are out there, no matter what you guys feel about the project or how I feel about your feedback consistently about the same topic, I'd still like to say this, that I do apologize about the way I acted, guys. At the end of the day, you guys are always entitled to your opinions. I just get a certain way when I see my own team members start feeling bad because of the way they're incessantly messaged by certain individuals. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with you two guys. I just kind of let it out on you guys because, it was the approach. But again, at the end of the day, no matter the approach, no matter the tit for tat, whatever, I'm never really supposed to react the way I did. So I apologize for that. And that was definitely my own wrongdoing. So yeah, I'll also put out a public post and tag you guys in it and let everyone else know again that I was in the wrong for that. And I truly do apologize. All right, so moving forward. Everybody's been waiting on the print shop. Now, we've never promised any sort of passive income model. It's never been our thing. This project was never supposed to be you get to sit down, gorge on passive income from doing absolutely nothing. There's no diss or anything wrong with that. I think the projects that are doing like mining and passive rewards through all sorts of different kind of utility that offered that promised that since the get-go, they're freaking sick. A lot of them are doing right. Some of them we're talking to behind the scenes, trying to also partner up with them and provide further use cases to these assets, but it was never what we originally had been offering you guys. And again, it's just been in the model of under promising, even though certain individuals claim I keep over promising, but I'm not trying to. I'm trying to stick to the original roadmap, which is pretty simplistic in nature. And we're going to go over that in a second. This is why I need my team here, because I'll just rant for days. All right. So, print shop. When is it going to come out? They haven't came out with it yet, etc. Guys, we took a little while there to start properly outsourcing ink for cheaper. Our stretch bars for cheaper, the stock paper, the canvas paper, or the canvas roll, I should say. All of these things we originally started buying from America. We realized that the cost effectiveness of that would not work. We then went through 2 factories from Shenzhen, China, until we found a really good one. We finally got some of our ink. Mind you, it's enough for at least around 300 orders right out the gate, and then we have a follow-up order that's supposed to get us into the 1K plus. But essentially, for our 2, one is 40-inch wide print and the other is 60. These things chug on I forget the exact milliliters, but it's a lot. And there's like 12 giant cartridges the size of my forearm that go into these things. And we had to find a very cost-effective way to keep, getting more supplies to keep these printers alive quickly. We realized when we ran the numbers on the original prices we paid, that we wouldn't last long. And in the sense that we wouldn't be able to actually provide you guys pretty much the cheapest pricing that we could find on the internet for such a service, custom print shop. With that being said, the good news is it's going to have, like I said before, the Earn Your Keep program. Earn Your Keep is basically an affiliate marketing program. You're essentially going to be earning your own keep. You're going to be using the leverage of your own community and support, and with our footwork, and you're going to just get the name out there. You get the name out there, you get people to buy via your link, which will provide discounts. You could tell your friends and family. They can use it for Web 2. They can use it for Web 3. This isn't necessarily just NFTs or whatever. It's really just a print shop. You print whatever the heck you want. You can upload any media files. There's a cool little template that it has like a light box and everything, so you can see how your image would come out, like a mock-up, I should say, not light box, sorry. And excuse me. And that'll allow you guys to basically be able to extract value, right? Depending on what assets you have, a Medium article is going to come out sometime late next week. That gives the breakdown right before the release of it. We're releasing the merch shop and the Regalia store the 31st of this month, and we won't miss it. When you guys see that Medium article, it'll tell you the percentages you're going to get back. The more you make, the more sales that go through your affiliate links, you'll be added to basically a ranking system, which will provide you extra percentages and what kind of kickback you can see from affiliate marketing. This will not be paid back in crypto. It'll be done through PayPal invoicing. You'll have to read over the terms of service. You'll have to make sure that the region you are in the world and the country you're in is okay for the type of affiliate marketing that it is. You'll have to do your own research in regards to that, which is why you definitely want to read the terms of service. Moving on, the regalia shop. I remember people fudding about that. It's hilarious because this is merch. So originally, when we put out the shop, first things first, the Twitter space was put up. Guys are already talking about, oh, the hoodie is $75. Like, yeah, the hoodie is $75. We're not giving you a crappy Dropbox, just print ink onto onto a hoodie that's already, what's that called? Screen printed. Yeah, we gave you a fully embroidered hoodie, thick, nice cotton, organic materials used, its own custom tagging. What do you expect? Like the hoodie itself, I'll tell you right now, it costs us like around, I don't know, like almost $50 per hoodie. We're barely even making anything on top of it. That's not the point. We're not trying to beat you over the head here to make profits. We're just trying to get you guys in some sick gear and make sure that we can at least facilitate the next order and continue buying more materials needed to keep giving you guys cool gear. The whole point of this is that eventually we'll have later this year, we'll have some more exclusive drops. Some more members of the community that do make their own goods will also be helping out. And we also have a partnership coming up that we're going to be announcing with Club Mars for sterling silver rings, something we also promised in our roadmap. Now, we're going to just go quickly switch over to our roadmap here because I need to just finally just get this out the way once and for all. Guys, I'll read this over for you of what you're supposed to be expecting right now. And then we can go over some of the manifesto and then remember the disclaimer at the end of it that it was letting you guys know that there might be pivots, that there might be improvements and changes, because again, we knew that certain things might not be a market fit 6 months later, and there was unforeseen issues that could occur, such as Twitter magically starting to charge for an API when originally, when we had built our first Discord raid bot, remember when raiding wasn't cool and everybody said community wasn't utility and it was stupid, etc. Yeah, those were funny times. And I remember too, right after pre-mint, right around nearing September, we had already released a Discord rating bot. It was pretty much the first one I've ever seen on Cardano. A lot of people were getting angry at us for using it. They were claiming we were like making fake engagement by doing so. It was like a lost concept in many that, hey, if your community is going to go yell out into the top of the mountain for you every single day on Twitter, maybe reward them with some fun stuff, maybe give them some of your utility token, maybe every now and then toss them some ADA for having a blast, maybe make engagement events around it, give people like whoever posted the most this week, etc. So that's how it started off originally. And then we started getting the concept fleshed out, because that was basically the MVP little scrap like test of what we really wanted, and it was a platform with a full-on UI, UX, full GUI, like the ability for people to interact from their phone, etc., without the need of a Discord, and fully integrated, and somehow still be able to proxy with on-chain data and then off-chain data like MongoDB keeping queries and keeping information like where you are on your ranking and gold and points, all that kind of stuff is stored off chain, of course, and you'd probably use some sort of normal database like SQL or something, Mongo, etc. Anywho, so guys, let's go over this roadmap real quick. Again, this is going to be a really sucky, I hate you right now stream, but I basically told the team to continue doing what they're doing and that I want to manage everyone's expectations real fast before we talk about the next exciting, fun stuff. So I don't hear any more of well, you are an overhyped project, because we never tried to overhype anything. Okay, so originally we were set out to do something called building the altar. The altar is essentially a 0% fee loaning program. We would take a certain percentage of our royalties every single couple of months and put it towards the altar. I believe that percentage is 25. We've been doing just that, and this altar has basically been sitting there slowly collecting dust, and I'll explain why. We tried to get a whole setup done by, I'm not going to say their name, but they're known for doing stuff with, lending maybe. And we had a couple of disagreements after a lot of time had passed, and we had both thought we agreed on the same exact thing until certain items the pricing was changed. So we kind of were upset about that. We backed off the idea a bit. It became a little too complicated and basically it would just burn time and resources for something that could be exploited in many different ways. So we then continued doing it over the counter. Is that the most ideal? No. I've noticed other projects still doing the same thing over the counter. I feel like the most important part of that is that we're even willing to do that, and that it even has helped out anyone. Right now, while we were getting fudded, there's still certain individuals, they'll come in and borrow like 3K plus ADA and do whatever they have to do and then come back and give their assets back. So someone gives us their assets, depending on if they're on the list or not, and they get a certain percentage back in loan. They get half of it. They get a certain, I'm not going to say the exact amount because you could just go read our Medium article. I got to rush through this stuff. So yeah, anywho, you get a percentage based on whatever the floor is of said asset that's on our list of assets that we're willing to take for a loan. Cool. You have 14 days to then return the funds back. Okay, so we are not choosing to turn it into a Smart 3 contract. Sorry. Wow, my brain, man. A Web3 smart contract. We're not choosing to go that route anymore. It could stay over the counter. If you guys want to deprecate it, we could just totally just annihilate the whole thing, move on with our lives. Commence the ritual of equal exchange. That was an engagement event. We all had a blast when it dropped. There was a cool Medium article. This little altar apostles lore was from there. And that was the point. Originally, we wanted to make it a more engaging thing happening in the Discord, where a bunch of you will have to take witness. People would all have to agree on if an individual would be getting their loan or not, and they would set their asset into the altar. Very like lore based, almost like a ritual room, right? I thought it was funny. So did the team. It didn't end up working that well. A lot of individuals wouldn't really connect the dots at times, and we didn't want to make people waiting on their loans wait any longer. So essentially we moved past it. Was it the most ideal? It was not. But like I said before, the main goal of that commence the ritual of equal exchange was that's the first loan that's made. Was a loan ever made? Yes. Were they successfully done? Yes. Was it a smart contract that did it? No. So the Grandmaster Duck reveals more about the Great Prophecy and its meaning. This is going to be our promo for Ascension / puzzle event. I'm going to show you guys one of the first areas of that click-through puzzle cipher. I know a lot of you guys thought it was funny using little tools and whatnot, but one thing you can't really decipher is when it's an obscure thing, right? Like there's no AI that's really going to help you with that, and your brain's going to have to figure out the ciphers instead. But instead of it, yeah, I'm not even going to say much more. You'll kind of see what I'm talking about when I show you this little sample. And that's that. So that's the Grandmaster Duck reveals more about the Great Prophecy and its meaning. Mallard Order members only rings and regalia released. quote unquote merch, right? In parentheses, merch, I should say. So the merch store was released. It was, like I said, flooded because of some prices. And then, granted, there was a lot of screw ups on the site. Like it caused for some people to get discounts when for their assets, and then some others they would connect their wallet and it wouldn't register their asset. It wouldn't give them the discount on the website. Um, we have since scrapped that. We went with a whole Shopify model with a little REST API setup that kind of will, the minute you log into the site, you'll be able to then get a coupon code generated through a bot. And you can go ahead and pick that up on Discord, or you can have it automatically emailed to you. And that's how we're going to find a good workaround at the moment for it, since Shopify doesn't really have that many good interoperable ways to connect to Cardano in the way we saw fit. So yeah, that's how we're going to go about that. It actually works awesomely though. And the whole main point is this is just a merch shop. We're not going to any longer try to waste more time trying to just provide something fun and cool. You can go ahead and FUD us to the fucking ground over it. But everyone who sees our clothes, who's worn them at our shows, who's picked one up, who's bought one, who's gotten one for free, they all think it's really good merch. I agree with them. We're not here providing you garbage t-shirts and garbage hoodies, etc. And then the launch of the custom canvas print shop to Mallard Order members. This thing's already ready to go. Like I said, one of the reasons why we kept waiting so long, we have done some B2B business behind the scenes where we provided and outsourced to many an artist so far large size prints, copies of prints. We've done some business cards already, a few brochures, and even everything that you've seen at our shows, like at the NFTLV, a lot of that stuff we printed, including even those stand-up ducks. Like Nemesis had printed all that stuff with our printer, then used like styrofoam board or something like that and like glued them together, etc. All the like canvases we had up, we printed. Anything that had like Mallard related canvases at the Emergence show, that was all printed from our shop. But now, finally, we'll have a WebTube website up. It's normal ecom kind of flow here. We're focusing on SEO. We're focusing on building backlinks for it. We're focusing on trying to get Google first page for low hanging fruit kind of keywords. There's a lot of room because I won't spill the beans, but the SEO on a lot of that stuff is screwed up to hell, and it's kind of easy to come into the mix for certain locations in America. So yeah, hopefully it works out great. I don't want to say it's going to be the best shop in the world because, again, not trying to overpromise. So just imagine that it's going to suck. So therefore, if it's anything good, you'll be excited. Now, this is going to be a very bearish stream, I'm telling you, because I want to smash down your expectations so we come back to earth and this thing can be freaking sustainable and we're not getting rushed every 5 seconds with when utility, because we were never a when utility project. All right. So as you can tell, I keep hearing all this craziness about apparently what our roadmap's supposed to have in it. This is pretty much it, guys. Now, I'm going to go over some of the stuff in the manifesto, and I'm going to tell you what will happen and what won't. Just so, again, you understand that part of it. All right, so we're going to switch over to manifesto. I keep turning off that little guy's screen. So we're just going to go to the website and do it from there. All right. So, such an olden time. So July 31st, newsflash, Ascension, this is around the time you can expect the actual release. SIP68, you're already touching buttons and switching gears, and it's already been done by that time. We have a whole new ordinals expansion that's also coming out We're trying to do it right before that time, and it also carries new art. And no, it's not the same art. There are two sets of art. So you're gonna get the SIP 68 Ascension art, and you're also gonna get this new Mallard art for ordinals. I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be a cool way to show like a multi-dimensional look. Like, what if Mallards went through this side of the dimension versus the other, right? Like, it's like a upside down world kind of situation. They're on two different blockchains. Why the hell should they look exactly the same? That would be a lot. That would be very boring, and I'm not trying to do that here with the team. We have a lot of creative talent, so why not have fun? All right. So let's look at the original Mallard holder benefits, right? Invitation letter holders, ancient relic airdrops. You guys got those for free. You're always whitelisted to everything dope that we do. You were whitelisted for the comics. You were whitelisted for the soul shards that allowed you to get into the pre-inscribed pre-inscribed sub 200K inscriptions, right? We ran that by way of raffle, and you would have to put a certain amount in for tickets. Each ticket cost a certain amount of rune. That's all you guys paid for it, and you were able to do this raffle only if you had certain assets. And depending on the asset, you were given even more weight, right? Because essentially you were able to acquire more rune, which in this case would be more weight for said tickets. And that would lead to a higher probability, well, allegedly, in RNG sense, of gaining one of these rare as AF soul shards. You guys ended up getting those as well. Like I said, completely discounted and whitelisted for comics as well. And you were airdropped relics. Again, for free. Secondary, the 100% royalties go to the giveaway wallet and fucking cars. The 100% royalties from the invitation letters have been sitting in the invitation letters wallet. We have a revamped system that Crypt Keeper is going to be announcing here pretty soon in a giant article he's writing up on how we plan to get you guys to find ways to agree with one another, and be able to make decisions on what you want to do with those funds. For now, we have been, since pre-mint, giving you guys whitelists, NFTs, running rune raffles, and giving you allegedly ADA through giveaways for invitation letter holders. So just, specifically for them. So physical product discounts. This is what we were talking about before. You're supposed to be getting discounted on all of your merch at max value for invitation letters. They get the best discount. And then also you're supposed to be getting discounted for the print shop services, all of the services in the print shop, which should be pretty rad for anyone that could find any use case for it. Like, I don't know, if you have your own vision or dream in your life, you could probably find a way that you can get a bunch of silly ducks to give you a very good rate on your business cards, brochures. Maybe you need menus for your restaurant, etc. And we're very, very competitive. You'll see that for yourselves once you see the site is live, especially with the discounts, and especially when you you combo it with the idea of affiliate marketing. These are very normal things, very sustainable models, and that's why we chose an industry like printing. The cost that goes in versus the profit made is, like, it's very cheap. It's very cheap to produce as long as you've bought enough for a mass scale, to lower down the cost on the resources. It's very profitable. Do we think that we're going to get filthy rich from it and be able to provide millions of dollars of rev share to trickle down to all you guys from it? No. Like I said, earn your own keep. You make sales through your own affiliate marketing. Well, you gotta, you get to break bread with us basically for every single sale you make. So it's up to you guys really how far you want to push this, because we're willing to back you. Before, the way we've done the shipping wasn't the best. We spent some time fixing that. We got hurt a couple of times on expenses, and we learned our lessons. And that's why we had to at least take like three months or so to really self-reflect, synergize. One of our teammates went PST from Eastern time zone. That's Crypt Keeper. And then Boxlord also moved to Miami. So we had and I dealt with my own personal stuff. I'm not one to bring up the whole sympathy card thing, though, because I feel like people then take it the wrong way. If you tell them the truth about the hardships in your life, they either see it as weakness, or you're trying to make a make-believe situation so you can roog. And I'm not rooging anybody. Okay. So special admission, we have some events that we've had on Discord that were only specific to invitation letter holders. In this puzzle event, which I'll go over, is one of those things as well. Not the whole thing, and you'll understand. Let me just go over a tiny bit. So the puzzle that's upcoming, right? The Corridors of the Mind is essentially the crypt. We're finally able to go inside of it in a way, right? And it's a point and click adventure kind of thing. And every X amount of days, there's going to be a new room that's going to light up in this imagine like The Sims, like a little house that's kind of like you could see through the walls, right? And you're going to be able to enter these rooms, and there's going to be a bunch of different clues laid out within the room. You'll have to click around and kind of guess your way through it and try to figure out and rack your brain around it. I highly doubt you're going to be able to pull a ChatGPT or some sort of deciphering tool and just feed it a copy and paste prompt and just be a-okay. This one, you're probably going to have to use your brain and think outside the box, because it's all like visual, customly, like handmade, digitally painted by Boxlord. All the puzzles are like digitally painted. So, if it's binary or something, don't expect it to just be digits. It'll definitely be in a clever way strewn about. And I just gave you a hint on one of them. So go ahead. So we went over that right here, and more to come as we go along with the project. As we flesh it out, we'll always figure out ways to keep adding more value to invitation letter holders, whatever partnerships we can find that we can add more value to. There is one pending right now. This is where that more to come is from. All right, so again, we're going to be extremely bearish here, because we got to ground everybody right back down to earth and remind everybody what the hell it was that we set out to do in the first place, before we had too many cooks in the kitchen and everybody's hosting their own spaces, trying to pump things that were not supposed to happen as fast as people are claiming. So, or for the reasons they're claiming it's supposed to happen. Okay, so original price, 95 ADA for invitation. Initiate, which was people who finished a certain set of events. At the time, they were called the trials. They were given 120 ADA pricing, and then the public mint was 130 ADA. This is how much these thugs were. Excuse me. Remember, invitation letters, $0. Ducks, let's just go for the conservative number, 130 ADA, right? And then relics were $0, pretty much 2 ADA fee and about 355 rune a pop. But you were only paying in rune if you didn't already have one of the Mallard, didn't have those prerequisites, like School of Thought, each set got a relic set, airdropped. And invitation letters, each invitation letter got, let's see, let me just quickly go to it. Each invitation letter got a unique set, and each School of Thought got a unique set. So that means that 5 unique mallards with uh, one out of the 5 unique schools of thought. Sorry, with all 5 unique schools of thought would make one set, right? And each one of those sets were airdropped for free again. So, okay, cool. Now let's remember. So, okay, so now we're going to go into what the Mallard holder benefits were. So the altar, powered by 25% of all Mallard Order duck royalties. Once fully powered, the order will commence the ritual of equal exchange, aka once there was enough funds inside the altar, which there is now, and there has been for a while, right? We would then do the first loan. The altar is 0% fee, lending program completely sponsored by the Mallard Order. And who's ever done it with us, sometimes you don't get it instantaneously. You might have to wait a day or two, but you always get your ADA and you never get charged any fees on top. And we're very, very friendly with the timing. Some individuals haven't been able to meet that 14-day mark, and we're not here to necessarily beat anyone over the head. We just thought it'd be really fun to be able to have a little pool of ADA that stays in the ecosystem, that are very, loving mallards, like the Skull and Bones Society could just come in and have like Daddy Warbucks take care of them whenever they want, and they can tap into something that's a little bigger than themselves to give them a little leg up for the day. Like maybe there's a pre-sale or something and you needed a bit, just a little bit extra ADA. Well, why not just send us some of your space buds. We give you X amount back for the compared to the floor price currently on said space buds, and you got 14 days to bring it back. And if you do, you just don't even pay any fees. Custom tools, we'll go over that in a second, because this has any to do with any access to anything we build, right? Including Raiders Guild, for instance, which you guys totally don't pay to use. All right, members only memorabilia. Again, this is just merch, right? This is just cool in-house stuff. Also, Nemesis, behind the scenes, she's done some custom work for others. She's still working on others, not on others, sorry. She's still working behind the scenes with different individuals. Like, I don't want to say their names right now, but like she's working with a non-charity from this space having to do with vets right now. She's helped numerous people redesign like their sites or their logos, sometimes free of charge. And she's also takes custom work. She takes custom jobs. Pretty soon, our website will have her little section. I shouldn't say little because that undermines, because it's actually pretty badass. It will have her section, the Nemesis Layer section, and you'll be able to just basically hire her for custom works as long as you're a Mallard holder associated to a Mallard asset of some sort. Maybe get your friend's wallet or something and claim it's yours. But you have to own a Mallard, and she'll work with you one way or another with custom works. Maybe you want, to paint you and the kids as weird ducks sitting on the couch, or maybe you want a painting of your daughter or something, to hang up in your office. You could talk to Nemesis about that. So that has to do with that. Then giveaways and raffles and more. So Mutants raffle system, which is super sick. I just found out the other day they pulled over 90 million ADA in volume on that puppy. I remember the gamification on that thing when it first dropped. It was insane. You had people just doing the most, man, for raffles. Shout outs to Paz, Barry, man. What a time to be alive. That was historical. Okay, yeah, a guy won that only, I think, bought like 5 tickets. Something insane while we were all murdering ourselves. Such a good time. So, yeah, one of the things we'd be doing, as the roadmap stated, was backed up here in the manifesto, which was using a percentage back into into buying NFTs to give away, but in this case, it would be for raffles, right? And the way you enter these raffles, it was never ADA. We never charged ADA for any of our raffles. It was always Rune. If you've ever seen a ADA raffle, it was definitely a community member running it and not a verified Mallard Order raffle, which is always in Rune. Because again, for us, Rune was always just supposed to be a simple utility token. Every time I see utility tokens, it's really Ponzi-nomics. It's really like more so for gambling. It's really more so for, hey, wink, wink, you convert this thing into crypto. It's not really to stay in inside the ecosystem. Now, some people have done it the right way and made really crazy setups, but us being from America and all, it gets a little finicky, and I don't like watching people wreck themselves on coins. Not, well, at least not on mine. And I rather it just stay within the ecosystem. As it states in the manifesto, which I'll show in a second, one rune is just one rune. It has no monetary value. It's a completely air worthless asset, but we'll gladly take it and give you services and goods that we've created that cost us real time and USD to give it to you guys. We think it's only fair, and that's the right way to go about this in our legal standing. There's gonna be a lot of ranting right now, guys. I'm without my team today, so apologies. But like I said, there's going to be another episode of this. Expect these every single month, bi-weekly. I promise you. You can count on it. You can really just hang me up to dry if I don't keep this word, because this is fully recorded. You guys are all listening to it. Just know it's definitely I'm reading a lot, sorry. It's definitely gonna be happening. So at the beginning of the month, one episode comes out. At the end of the month, another episode. The point of them is Discord's a freaking echo chamber. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of someone complaining, saying, I never check Discord, versus another guy saying, I'm always on Discord, versus another guy saying, there hasn't been an announcement for 6 months. And I'm like, hey, did you notice all those other channels? Like, hey, look, that RG development channel just went off like a month ago. It said something. Did you notice that other channel that says Twitter X post from the official account that kept saying like there's events and stuff happening and showing you sneak peeks and stuff they're working on? Those are technically announcements. They're just not concise and put in the same location. Why? Our Discord got a little wacky after a while. And it's been, a bunch of people have told us this numerous times. We have way too many channels, let's face it. Right now, we have a whole new template for our Discord. It's about to drop probably like by the end of next week, max. And we're turning our whole Discord into an information hub. It's either about Cardano and our project and how to get into it in a concise, quick, and easy manner, plus a trained chat GPT model that's only exclusive to Mallard and Mallard information and Mallard lore. It's been completely trained just for Mallard, and a rigged apostle, which you see here on the left, will be on the website to answer all your questions. And in Discord, it'll just be a bot that will also answer all your questions. So I think this will be a good way to onboard new users and to just understand the whole ecosystem without you poor fellow Mallard holders who always have to chime in and let everyone know what you know. You won't have to put that much legwork anymore when a newcomer comes in and goes, what's this project all about? They could just, ask this character and he'll pretty much know all the answers. Where was I? Okay. So again, managing expectations. This is what this whole video is about. Haha, I tricked you. But we have to do this. No way around it. So, okay, Mallard holder benefits. It pretty much seems like, okay, all right, they made a little mishap with the altar, but they kind of kept their word with, all right, let's see. The shop. All right, relic utility. Everyone's always like, what am I supposed to do with the relics? You promised all this. I was like, no, I actually didn't. Check it out. So right here, we try to keep it as vague as possible for the purpose of being able to flesh these things out in whatever direction we wanted. We clearly spent an amazing amount of time just making them beautiful three-dimensional assets. No one's really doing that at the time either. And just being free. These things have backstory to them. Some of these assets will actually be in IRL, and one of the ways you're going to be able to get them is by exchanging that asset for them and not actually using these in a complete set and trying to transform a duck. So that should be some fun times. But let's take a look at some of this utility here. Okay, we do giveaways, giveaway events. That's happened since they've come out. You've been having relic giveaways exclusive to relic holders for a while now. Charity, we've done that as well. Airdrops, there are certain assets that we're, in the future going to be working on, and anything collaborative, you would be receiving it because you had a whole set. I'm not going to get too much into that because, again, I want to just lower your expectations almost to into purgatory right now, so we don't get our hopes up anymore, and we allow us to still be creatives, which is what you fell in love with us in the first place about. When you weren't able to steer the ship constantly asking when, and when you'd allowed us just to be these weirdos, we would always come up with beautiful, ways to captivate the audience. And we're trying to really get back to that, which is another reason why we had to take a couple of steps back and remember who the hell we were and take control of what our own destiny is supposed to be. Whoever doesn't want to be here after, I completely understand, but I can assure you I'm not going anywhere, neither is my team. And this isn't my time to quit just yet. There's too much to still do. Luckily, we've set aside a bunch of our eggs, no pun intended, and put it into the currency that all of these different people that we try to work with will take. Sadly, not a lot of people take crypto in the art world or in the Web 2 world. So yeah, we're lucky to not need to constantly be dropping mints on your head and finding excuses to extract liquidity once again. All right. So yeah, the games, so tools, we're going to go back over that. Okay. Charity, limited edition regalia. Again, going back to the merch store and just really cool gear that we've come up with on seasonal drops. We always want to drop like one thing that's extremely limited that the first come, first serve are going to be able to get, and it's going to be token gated. Again, not the craziest expectations. We then ended up doing things like these things give you a boost on Raiders Guild. These things give you, you can stake them for Rune. And one of the biggest reasons for them to come out at the time that they did, it was the massive complaining about not being able to get into our ecosystem. These things were always going to come out, but the reason why they came out a little sooner than what we originally hoped, we saw how many people actually wanted in, and they couldn't get in because everything was inflated. I believe Mob at the time was like 2K ADA floor. Our floor was like 2K ADA. We had certain individuals running pump spaces constantly, telling everybody the art is coming, new art, and just hyping it up. And I would always try to manage everyone's expectations by reminding everyone, hey, our upgrades are in a way a gimmick. For me personally, I just want to make it an improvement. I saw room for us to improve. I thought NFT should stay dynamic. I don't like the fact that, it has to stay the same when in reality I can own so many pieces of art associated to the exact same asset. So why not do that? Just keep making it a multi-layered asset. So that was our whole purpose with these, and then slowly give them more value over time. That's the reason why they were dropped essentially for $0. You exchanged your time from staking for then the asset. I noticed that the volume on secondary meant that some value was extracted for some, and some people bought at a certain other price. I have to say, we don't build for the idea of where a price Uh, we don't build to provide the value of inflated prices. We try to provide the value around whatever the original offering uh, price point for entry was, right? So if your duck was 130 ADA, well, in 2 years, we have tried to provide you back that 130 ADA worth of value. Now, this is not a guarantee, of course, but we try our best to somehow, some way, whether it be you get a service of some sort that's beneficial, you meet a friend here, you have one of us help you out with consultation, however, but we try to find a way for you to get that original value. Now, we're going to go over our swamp pool real quick because this one's important. And it's something that we're going to go in very deeply in our next episode, which since now it's almost the end of the month in about 2 weeks. Like I said, Fireside Chat episodes will come out at the beginning of the month, at the end of the month. So since we delayed those 2 times, everybody, kill them because they're delayed. Now what we're going to be doing is dropping the next episode when it was supposed to drop, no matter what. So that's supposed to drop midweek next week. I'll dare give you a date, which is the 22nd. Now, you can expect to see my teammates in that one. And we're going to go into that one specifically only on what's coming out in the future where we're going next. Roadmap V2, the minute we wrap up Roadmap V1, which we're trying to wrap up, all these leftover deliverables, but in reality, it's the print shop. And we're talking about the roadmap here. I'll get into the Raiders Guild and everything, but originally that's not on the roadmap, right? So that has nothing to do with if it can stop us from moving into roadmap V2 or not. So we what was I gonna say? Right. So truthfully, the only things left over to wrap up roadmap V1 for all the technical analysts out there, they have to have every word. Okay, so we have to match. So this is how simple it is. Regalia rings, Club Mars LLC partnerships helping us with the sterling silver rings for those. Since Nemesis is in here, I'm not doing this whole like on-screen thing today. Like I said, next episode we will more of that. But you guys have seen me promo this tons of times and show you the sneak peeks. We have all the 3D files for it. We have all the concepts for it. We've already printed it out numerous times. We've had someone try to help us with it in the past. They were trying to overcharge for what they actually did. The molding didn't come out exactly for what we paid for. We said, screw them. We noticed that Clay Rich from Club Mars this guy's no joke when it comes to the jewelry game. His family's long standing in it. The guy is very well connected overseas, knows all the factories, knows all the manufacturers, has families in it, owns multiple businesses out there, and could pretty much get you whatever you want. And from our experiences with him, he's an amazing human. So that's who we're going with our regalia ring. Then we have the print shop. We have the merch shop. That's dropping at the end of this month. And then we're pretty much moving into, again, the puzzles. Those puzzles are leading us into the promo for Ascension. We're making this whole marketing campaign around that. And that'll also stem into another hunt that we're doing on the Bitcoin blockchain. But that one is going to be done through these recursive inscriptions. So it's going to be more so like old Newgrounds, HTML, funny things happening into these like inscriptions that get put out. You're going to have to go sniffing for it. We're going to give you hints when we drop them. And that's going to start the promo for our next BTC Ordinals venture. I'll go over that in a second on what we plan to do. And then in the next episode here next week, we're going to really go in depth with it. We're going to have the artists here. We're going to be chatting about why we went this way versus that way with the art. We're going to show a little bit of the sneak peeks for that one. We're not going to make you work as hard for it like we are with the Ascension sneak peek. All right, so Swamp Pool, we used to have 1.4 mil. ADA delegated into it. A couple of other pools came out since. The original point of it was very simple. Hey, you delegate to us. We help out the ecosystem by being one of the operators here, and just helping this thing grow by being a little leg in the infrastructure. And for that, we have a fully on-chain bot, fully on-chain. Sorry, we have a bot that pulls data that's all on-chain, right? On who's staking, what their stake key is, how much they've delegated, how many assets they have. Based on their assets and how much they're delegating, you get a certain amount of weight. That weight then allows you to get 200 rune every epoch. And then every 6 epochs, we choose one winner and they receive an NFT. Usually the NFT is anywhere from 50 to 100 ADA value. It's RNG on that. The bot prints out how much we're going to be picking up, what the budget is for their NFT giveaway. And then we go for it, we purchase it, and then we send it to them. Simple as that. Now, the new system is very much fleshed out in way of a percentage of everything that we do, whether that be a mint, on whether it be that when we drop this collection on ordinals, whatever is made from that, etc. A large portion of everything we do will go back into our pool in order to provide operator rewards to then be split with certain winners every however X amount of epochs instead. Just a simple way that we're trying to find ways to give back. But again, we're never been a rev share project. We're never going to really be that. We're more so a build the community, build a platform, do hard work on the streets, get our name out there, try to find as many partnerships as humanly possible in the IRL world, try to get our names in galleries, try to get our names into stores, try to get our faces shown, and not just stay behind the computer all day. I feel like that's how you really captivate a real audience out there in the world. I still haven't met, like, it's sad to say, but like 7 out of 10 people that I ever meet still think crypto's a scam. And for us, which are artists first, we have run into a lot of problems whenever, like, I've lost, even, for instance, even we had an individual that we really wanted to work with for short animations, and this dude was so down. Everything was working out great until he found out it was a crypto related project, and he told us he can't be involved in it. We also even had a DJ tell us that one time. It's so ridiculous because their own ignorance, but I also can't blame them. So I've realized along the way that the pitch can't start with what they don't understand much. So we try to find ways to meet in the middle. And we know Web 2, we know art, we know marketing, we know connections, and that's networking, and that's what we try to focus on. Ancient language, you guys already know the deal with this. It's our own runic text. I mean, we started the whole wave, but hey, it is what it is now. Leonidas ran with the meta. No, just kidding. All right, so schools of thought. This is a lore bound back. Like this is lore, right, for our project. But these play a part in the kind of art you end up with. Just imagine that there's about like a few levels, right, of like the intensity of it. Having a particular duck with one of these, when you use your 5 relics on it and in a sense, it has a look to it that should be associated to the type of school of thought. So, if you think a guy is, part of the school of thought of necromancy, most likely has some traits that look very dark and, yeah, they, like a necromancer. They look like they're not fucking around with the living. They look like they're pretty evil. They have just dark characteristics. Philosophy has a more regal, elegant, stoic kind of look. Magica You could see a lot of aura flow, a lot of like effects around their hand, around their. Well, I'm not even gonna say anything more, but yeah, you get it. Like some of them are now gonna show certain features that they didn't before. Maybe like holding a floating orb or something like that. I don't want to really go into the traits. Uh, and you guys get it. So again, I hate going over these gimmicks before they're showcased in the proper way with promo. So I'm gonna call it a gimmick, for now. Again, this whole point of my stream today is to lower your expectations and just make you FUD me more than ever. But we're gonna be more communicative than we've ever been. So most of you are probably out of this stream by now. I haven't even checked. I don't care. All right. So rune tokenomics, you guys already know that. All right. So again, rune stays in the ecosystem. Rune, not really to be converted. Rune just specifically so you guys can extract value from goodies that we make and things that we do going forward into the future. It was simple. You stake Mallard, you stake invitation letter, you get rune on the daily. Different amounts, that's it. You use the rune, you get goodies from us. We were never promising anything else. Relics, right? You got those. Raffles, you get them from time to time. Merchandise, you got some vouchers so far for 2 rugs, one of which still hasn't been sent to Tasol, which we're sending out this week. Again, sorry about that, Tasol. Thanks for bearing with us. The other one, CV Hash already won. And one of the other bits of merchandise will be from time to time, you'll be able to use your rune to purchase print shop vouchers. And essentially, you'll just beat us over the head for free services in a way. You'll still have to pay your own shipping, but besides that, if you have enough rune on a monthly basis, there's X amount of vouchers that could be purchased. You'll be able to pick those up, first come, first serve, and then redeem those whenever you feel like it for print shop services. We have events. That's still something we're working on. Just expect one of the rooms of the crypt from the corridors of the mind to consist of needing rune for something. And every time you mess up, you burn the rune and you go, uh-oh, I need to do more. I need to use more rune now. And if you don't get smart quickly, you might burn your whole bag of rune messing around with that puzzle. It does have a fun outcome and reason why. We want to turn this into a monthly series, by the way, where the crypt is such a vast place, right? Essentially in the lore, it's almost like, it's such a small structure, but it's almost like never ending inside there because of the magical nature behind this cult of ducks. And so yeah, just expect that to be one of our newest ways of engaging with the community. Constantly dropping new rooms and you guys constantly having new reasons to enter them and break your brains again. We plan to have a lot of collaborations with other projects who want to create their own special, unique room experiences. And I can't wait to see what other people come up with and how fun this can be when we collaborate together. So yeah, then we have the games, right? And I'll go over that in 1 second. So we were supposed to have a Discord game come out. Not really supposed to, but it's something we talked about, right? So let's just skip this. So we had the Mallard shop, like I said, right? And when people ask about utility, we always had what was going to get what. It's just simple. These assets, before they're used for their main purpose, which is your duck ascension, you can use them to get around the ecosystem and just get our services and our time for a discounted value. I think that's pretty fair for what the assets were given in the first place for. Pretty much invitation letter and relic were free. I know some individuals bought them from secondary. I can't guarantee anything for you. But all I know is that if you were interested in getting an ascended duck, you're gonna get what you paid for. Regalia, you guys already know. Some of you already own it. Partnerships. We've gotten one beer out with Swamp Water. We also have one with Peekskill Brewery, which is the Elixir one that hasn't come out. Uh, we have a couple of other IRL partnerships that haven't gone through yet with branding. One of them being for a screen print shop. And we're gonna, again, everything made from there through this collaboration with this person and this business, a percentage of it will go back to the swamp pool. When Crypt Keeper's on for the next episode, a lot more of the stuff with the finite numbers will be broken down. Today, though, like I said before, and I'll just keep repeating over and over and over, you guys wanted announcements. Well, I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to spam you with constant streams, constant breakdowns. And the main goal here is to show you what we're working on and also manage your expectations. Because for a while there, I've had these threads like just exaggerating about what's happening. Oh, the team's never around. It's like, well, we weren't around. How come we just did like 2 events back to back in the span of like what, 60 days? What was it, April and February? Yeah, February and April, just back to back. Like, how aren't we around? So yeah, we're gonna continue trying to be relevant. We're going to continue keep pushing boundaries forward, and we're going to continue not to charge you all the while doing this. Mind you, we can continue to just drop NFT drop after NFT drop and cuckold you in the middle, but it's not something we're really into. Vinyl figures is still something we could do at any single moment. We have some concepts. We just didn't feel it was the most priority at the moment, especially with the consumer sentiment as it stands. Again, Printers Guild, it's not called that, by the way. It's dropping at the end of this month. I'm not going to tell you the name just yet before someone goes and tries to screw with our SEO. All right. So, lore-based graphic novel, we got that sucker out. You can expect to actually have your redeemed comics. I repeat, your redeemed physical comics. You should be having those in your hands by our 2nd year anniversary in July 31st. I'm giving you the most extreme conservative time now, right? Longest period of time I can think about. So you cannot possibly get your hopes up. But technically, I kind of already have them. And technically, you're kind of already going to start seeing them. We just need to run a couple of tests on a few redemptions first ourselves. If everything goes through as well as we think it will, you should be good to go. Expect to pay shipping on those. And for the man who owns the one of one, yes, I know who you are, sir. You have not been forgotten with your care package. The individuals who ended up winning in the raffle from weighted points from the ownership of comics, you were not forgotten, and also receiving some cool care packages. And I'd like to say this much, guys. Comics are not easy to draw up. You could draw up a really garbage, crappy line work comic very quickly. This thing, you all know, is pretty quality for the time given and for such a small team. We already have issue 2 wrapped up and 3. 4, 5, we've been revising a bunch over and over and over again. Kind of got obsessed with it. I had to stop for a second. By July 31st, by the time you're receiving your physical copies, you're going to already see a new comic being promoted. Mind you, the goal was you get the first comic, those who believe and get multiples, etc., start to see some sort of serious discount. Some of you are basically just going to be getting the newest issue, essentially for $0. If you want to buy the comic, you can. If you want to support, you can. If you don't like it, you don't have to get it. But don't dare ever sit back and say, oh, this this is supposed to be like Marvel, and because even on Indiegogo, people have taken years to drop a comic there, and I'm not even talking about you give somebody uh, sort crowdfunding there, and your average indie comic doesn't you don't even get to read it for like 2 years, bro. It's very rare that it ever moves faster. Here you already got the digital copy right away. The day you paid for it, you were already able to read it. Granted, you're not able to level it up just yet. That's not good, right? And then also you haven't received your physical redemption. I understand. Now, is that being done? Like I said, by latest, we'll shoot for July 31st. It'll definitely be sooner than that. But for all the fudsters and all the threaders and everybody else, July 31st. Let's just keep saying that. All right. Choose your adventure Discord based adventure game. We had fleshed out a lot of this, but man, oh man, the too many like the whole idea of when utility constantly had caused us to really like have to prioritize certain aspects. And granted, we got kind of obsessed trying to tweak up Raiders Guild, and we made that thing originally to have a blast, to make everyone have an enjoyment, to allow users to really be able to leverage one another, to really be able to push one another, support one another. It turned into this copy and paste meta. It took a lot of the fun out of it because there's plenty of people who claim the rating life, but haven't really been about that since day one. And you know us, man, since day one, just constantly spamming your feeds. We held down the Twitter space. In next episode, I'll show you all the metrics, but a lot of you should remember them. We're talking just like not even comparable in mentions to like any other project. On some days, we'd be competing with like Bored Ape mentions and D-Gods mentions, and I have proof of that. And I've shown it in the past. It was pretty funny. And that the whole point was you see what a community could do when they just band together and stop arguing and stop being toxic. But again, it turned into this thing where it has to be fouled up. And instead of enjoying the fact that we're one of those projects that opened up the whole garage door and we're kind of just building it in front of you guys, after revising it a couple times since Twitter had changed its API, and we couldn't foresee that. We didn't know Elon Musk would buy it out like 6 months after we started, creating this thing. And even when we had inklings he would buy, we didn't know he would turn into such a pricing model so quickly, etc. So that was a fucking nightmare, I gotta admit. Something that was supposed to be fun, man, and just free for a lot of you guys started turning into this sour event where, it's supposed to be moving faster. It's like, guys, like we're fleshing this out as fast as we can, and as fast as we want to at the moment, and trying to like see just the legal standing in all of this, because we've seen a lot of raid to earn platforms on Solana and business models that are copying those particular platforms. And yeah, some of them have had to shut down because they ultimately realized, well, not everyone can extract these rewards. Not that guy, and that guy with the VPN neither. He can't do it. So we were listening to Dur a lot. He was our dev at the time. So many of you may have noticed, but Dur has recently left, and it wasn't anything negative. We tried to work together still, but he ended up getting a job offer that I can't even refuse for him. He's a businessman. He's a family man. He's about 11 years my senior. He's taught me a lot, showed us a lot. This guy is the bee's knees, and we're sad to have to see him go. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not gonna take food out of that man's mouth and for his kids. And yeah, so he's getting 5x more. But the good news is this: we've already had multiple talks with different devs One of them being one of our college friends from back in the day. We've had two of them mess around with, you know, the back end that Durr left us behind. So he built out the back end and the front end for a lot of that stuff. He just purposely didn't deploy it, and Nemesis had done so much of the UI work. Right now, again, I'm not switching through scenes as much, but as you, many of you have already seen me show templates of it. If you want, you can go look at the medium. It shows everything that we're planning to do with Raiders Guild. When are we gonna do it? I don't know. You'll just have to wait and see when it comes to that. But I'm willing to bet we're working on it right now because we love that thing. And ultimately, even if it's got to be completely free for all users to use it, then we'll go for that. It's cool. But I'm not giving away any more tricks out of the bag. You know, back in the day, we used to do this fully fleshed out thing. Everyone can look. And I noticed that individuals that didn't really need to think much through it would just kind of like, oh, well, this is what we'll take. This is what, and it's just like, I'm not in it for that anymore. This is a cult of evil ducks that live inside the crypt in the dark swamp. They love each other. They're each other's brethren. They toil around with magic and come up with all sorts of different philosophical theories and talk about ancient teachings, but they sure as hell aren't sitting around shilling our next thing constantly in Twitter spaces. We don't need that. I don't care for it. And I'm tired of having things stripped when they're not even ready to flourish by the very creative minds that originated the idea. So not going to do that anymore. All right. So yeah, we've put this to the side for a second. We do plan to put it out sometime this year, however, most likely in the autumn time. And we did toy around with some stuff that Boxlord had made where basically we turned this thing into a whole interface and kind of put a little Final Fantasy overview of a world map idea together for our website overhaul or rehaul, I should say, revision, whatever, new iteration, etc. I haven't slept, man. I'm still trying to get stuff ready for this Ascension print shop and our next IRL event. We also got to hit back up Rare Evo, etc. So we're really out here trying our best. I think we're one of the most solid slow rugs I've ever seen in my life. Like, we try to stick around and give back as much as possible, answer every question as possible, and try to do our best. We show you all our mistakes, our scratches, our bruises, and if that isn't good enough, then I don't think we'll ever be good enough for you, and that's okay. You don't need to be a part of this project. There are such freaking awesome projects in Cardano, man. Like, I can name so many off the top of my head that you can be associated with, but you'll always see us support other projects. This whole tribalism BS, you can have fun with that. It'll never work. You'll never get anywhere in this space like that. We'll never grow as a space if that's all we do. There can only be one. There should only be one project that should be bought. That doesn't, man, that sounds so freaking boring. It's just like, like, wait, I can't have an ore mob? Like, just because I think it's fucking badass with the cool art? Like, it's got to give me rewards every 5 seconds? Like, why? This guy's awesome. He just draws really cool shit. And look, these sneakers are fucking, like, come on, man. All right. So yeah, Discord game, put that to the side right now. Don't think about it. Grandmaster Duck. This, again, is back to the lore, back to the promo, back to Roadmap V2. I'll give you a hint. Roadmap V2, a lot of it will be visualized through almost a trailer. And the Grandmaster Duck is going to be telling you his story. You're going to learn a lot about him, kind of see glimpses into his past, and see glimpses into the trials. It's funny. You'll see some of our characters, the day you were initiated, moments like that. It'll go over the past, and then it'll tell you about what's to come. And to be honest, guys, we're trying to keep it as free for us to give us enough room to be creative as possible. That's what this roadmap B2 is. It's badass. I think it's really cool. I think we got some new offerings, but don't expect like us to give you mining rewards unless, of course, we partnered with someone who was giving you those mining rewards and we were associated to them, which might be a thing. But that's not for Roadmap V2. That's just something that might happen soon. If you guys can't tell, I'm completely manic right now. I'm sorry. Again, the team isn't with me today. Boo hoo. All right. And then, look, guys, pop-up shops and the NFT galleries. I mean, it's something we really pride ourselves on doing. It's something that's really put a lot of us together. It's something that's even made people pick up Mallards over. And it's quite a unique way to, communicate. Remember, like IRL, like actually seeing people instead of being able to hide behind an alt account and talk crap. You actually have to look someone in the eyes and like feel them and like understand where they're coming from. It's amazing, and a lot of times people will opt in because of that. They could see how genuine you are as a person. Because again, slow ruggers wouldn't spend days on end hanging things up, taking the time out to hire DJs, except that's that. Anyways, and then guys, again, evolution, ascension. This is what relics are mainly for. Whoever told you any different, again, was pumping the bag and pumping spaces and, being the expert on something they didn't even create. While the very expert themselves would continuously always say, don't get your hopes up. Hey guys, let's not. You know what I would do every time somebody would get me in a Twitter space right away, like, Ascension, or talk about it right now. It's like, no, we're not ready. We have a whole marketing plan for it. And we don't want to do that right now. Just like keep these things, know that it's coming, and don't force our hand on it. And yeah, it transformed into this you need to give me everything right now kind of situation. That's not what we're doing. So before I rant on forever, I'm going to just shut this down pretty soon because I'm going back to my team and waiting on them to actually have a real chat. I don't like doing this alone. This is why I just made it about expectations. I'd rather be with my whole team here, chatting it up like we're supposed to. So expect that on the 22nd, which is Wednesday. Disclaimer, this is not a working document and this is a working document and any information is subject to change. Nothing in this document is financial advice nor a promise of monetary gain. Now, I need you to freaking remember that. Very well. We aren't going anywhere, guys. Some days I get tired, some days I get beat up, some days I get drained. But there's never been a day where I woke up and I say, A, I want to screw my community over. B, I want to mint $1 million over, like from them right now, every 5 seconds. I want to make everything that we make be a way to upsell them. And there's never been a day where any of us have woken up and say, I want to quit. So stop trying to make us quit. Stop trying to beat us over the head every week and tell us that we've never done a single thing, that we've never been anywhere that we've actually been, and that allegedly we haven't talked for 6 months. What? So, yeah, this wasn't the most ideal way. You guys wanted this announcement today. You wanted me to pump the crap out of your bags and give you like Roadmap V2 today, which I never promised I would do. Which is why you must manage your expectations. And I hope you guys put us all the way down to 0 so when we start dropping the cool shit, we can fly all the way back up and any doubters can cry. But yeah, guys, like just remember what we're set out to do here. Very simple offerings with community building, like essentially at every turn. With everything that we do. We never built out Raiders Guild on the roadmap. It was just supposed to be a thing that could help out the Cardano ecosystem wake the hell up and realize they should work together. IRL events, we're not charging you to enter them. We're not token gating it to make it super lame. We're just trying to get a bunch of like-minded individuals and people who are from different walks of life, maybe people who will never even associate with each other, come together in one room and talk about all sorts of things that we can resonate with. And a very simple one that's intrinsically inside of all of us to love it is art, man. And saying art is no utilities, it's a funny way to talk when, I'm sure you remember your wedding day song and it still touches you in your heart. Art moves people. It's an easy way to break down the barrier of individuality, right? And find like a connection and almost feel like a harmonious like symbiote. Like, oh, we all like jazz. Let's enjoy jazz together now. And for a second there, you kind of forget you're all different and you kind of like relate. But I'm probably just a manic man talking. You guys really needed this announcement. I wanted to give it to you nonetheless, even if the team isn't around today. Even if we, I'm just making sure we went over a lot of the stuff here that I wanted to. Let me just close this out real quick. Let me close this out because you guys get the point of the roadmap now. And I'm going to turn this guy back on. So on the 22nd, we're going to go deeper into the print shop. We're going to show you the percentages for the affiliate marketing. We're going to have like a whole little mini course on how I would run it. We're going to discuss it with the team. We're going to show you sneak peeks of the ordinals. Well, one, I think. And give you more of a breakdown on that. Just know ahead of time, it's going to be a 10K PFP collection. And yes, your rune, your mallards, your invitation letters, your sashes, your schools of thought sets, all of these are, of course, just going to get free whitelist. And of course, going to pay $0 for the mint. And you're just going to need to pay whatever transaction fees for the recursive. Which has nothing to do with us. It's the blockchain carry fee. Merch, there's nothing really to go over with that. It's just going to be a merch store. It's going to have a lot of cool shit. That's it. Raiders Guild, we're going to go deeper into what we're planning to do. I'm almost trying to bide our time here and try to see whatever competitive services are trying to come out. Kind of nitpick it through them now and literally improvise every single one of our ideas on a dime and just try to get it to be a better market fit. Wherever the other guy fell short, we'll surely make up for it, even if it means doing it all for free. No problem. All right, so we have Ascension. We're gonna go over that some more. I'll leave you with this, right at the end of this, which is about to be in like 3 minutes here. I'm going to leave you with a video of a sneak peek of one of the rooms. And you're going to just see from the beginning how Boxlord drew it up, which is beautiful. All right. Comics, something we're going to go into a little more detail about. We're going to do a redemption and kind of show you guys what you're going to be doing. And like I said, by July 31st, you'll be holding the comic in your hand. You would have already been able to level it, and we should have a few covers that you could have upgraded it to by then. Ordinals, it's in here twice on accident. Oopsies, that was my fault. I did that last minute. Don't blame my team. Schools of Thought Utility, something we are all going to collectively talk about. IRL events. We have some more plans about different locations we have yet to go. Maybe I'll meet some of my favorite fudsters and we'll be able to finally give each other a handshake and find some sort of middle ground, at least in the simple fact that we're both Homo sapiens. But surely some of these people aren't human. Just kidding. Alter, I've already discussed that here. We're going to discuss more about how we're planning to pretty much break that whole thing down. Swamp Pool, Crypt Keeper is going to be joining us to help us really thoroughly break down the reward system of the revamp in Swamp Pool. We've been upgrading our specs. Sadly, now to be an operator, you need way more minimum spec requirements. Starting with memory and RAM and everything is is kind of wilder now, but I get it. You want a robust infrastructure that keeps scaling. So, you're gonna need to keep leveling up your machines to be a pool operator. Mind you, I'm not the pool operator because I'm a smooth brand. We use Legion of Brad, who's helped us tremendously. But yeah, sadly, we need to upgrade our servers, which we're in the middle of doing right now, our specs. Roadmap V2. Again, something we're planning to go back over in full details. Not in full, so let me rephrase. We're planning to go over that in more detail, and it's still up in the air, like on how we're gonna explain this. I'll be quite honest to you guys, because we don't want to really let the cat out the bag on this whole promo we've built up. We kind of want you guys to sift through it and figure it out for yourselves, what it is that we're planning to do. But yeah, it's something we're going to discuss on the 22nd. And yeah, I said a lot of ums. I'm pretty much done. Here's a video from Boxlord making this puzzle room. One sec. And yeah, guys, apologies about any miscommunication. Apologies for any time you felt that you weren't not heard or we weren't moving fast enough. Know what project you're in. Know what you signed up for. I will not be pumping your bags this video, but maybe I will on the next one. But yeah, surely not this one. So yeah, guys, as you saw there, basically it's going to be this room and multiple rooms. They're going to have these assets. They're clickable. When you click them, you're going to be able to see a different perspective of said asset or room, right? A more... God, this is why I need my team right now to help me with all this shit, bro. Like, I usually do not set up these streams. Yeah, you're gonna need a you're gonna get a different perspective, a closer look at whatever that clue is, and I hope you guys have fun with it. Again, sorry I didn't give you the pump space the pump update you wanted, but definitely this is more of an update you needed. I think we just need to find a middle ground in understanding what it is we're offering and what it is that we're expecting. I want this to be as bearish as possible. I want people to completely underestimate us. And then when we're ready to finally do what we're ready to do, we just do it. That's it. All right. Have a good one.